Dear Shifu, if I get a listener to hear to my complaints relating to work and people would, or relating to people and work, comma, would this lead to creating negative karma for myself, or should I keep mum? Yeen Hoon. Would this create negative karma? It depends. Yeah, it depends. It may not lead to negative karma. It may lead to negative karma. So it depends on how you share your complaints. Here it's specify complaints. So when we are complaining, our emotions are usually a bit negative. So when we are negative, we tend to be a bit biased. Yeah. When we are positive, we tend to also be a bit biased. Yeah. Some of you are surprised, huh? Positive also got problem. Yeah, you didn't know. When we are positive about something or someone, we are biased also. We tend to only look at the positive side. So tendency is when we are complaining, we tend to be biased. And when we are biased, then we may not tell the truth. It's not that we may not consciously say we want to lie, but we end up not telling the truth. Yeah. Or sometimes a part of us know that it's not true. Yeah. But we're not happy already. So we just tell the lie. Or we are deluded, we are self-deluded. So we really think that what we see is the truth, but actually is a perception. So why do I say that it depends? Yeah. Have you ever heard of the Buddha complaining? There's no sutra called 佛说牢骚经. The Buddha complaint sutra. No, but the Buddha did share his past life. Yeah. I remember there are a couple of suttas that relate to the Buddha having encounters with people around him. Yeah. And it's not always like super positive one, Yeah. There's one sutta where it starts off in the present day, in the Buddha's time, where the Buddha was like one of the disciples have like doubts or something, in the Buddha. Then the Buddha related a story, in the past where he was a cow, and then there was his owner, and his owner basically got himself into a bet. Yeah. Basically, the bet is, or rather, the owner is a person who is not very rich. So the cow was trying to help the owner to become rich or something. So the cow told the owner, I can pull, don't know, like 100 carts. Yeah. 100 carts of goods. I can pull that amount of goods. Yeah, you go and tell whoever, that I can pull 100 carts of goods. Yeah, they will, and then basically there's a bet. Yeah, that if he can pull, then he can have some gains. So the owner was like, huh, really? So they said, yes, trust me, believe in me. So the owner go and announce to the whole town, and then on that day itself, 100 carts were prepared. And then just before the cow start to, or the bull, maybe it's more like the bull, because cow is the female one, right? Yeah. Anyway, cow or bull, so you're about to start, and then the owner take the whip. Yeah. Go, hurry up, go. The cow, the bull was like, so the bull refused to move. So the whole town is like, your bull cannot even move. So after everything is over, then the owner was like, you have brought me disgrace. Then the bull said, didn't I tell you that I can do it? Why do you have to hit me? So he said, you have to trust me. I told you I can do it. Yes, I can. So another time arranged. Then second time, I don't know whether there's a second time, but finally, when the owner trusted him, he really started moving, and each card pulled the next card, and he really was able to pull all the 100 cards. I mean, even today, I don't know how you have 100 cards and one bull can pull it. Really quite amazing. And because of that, the whole town was convinced, oh, he has such a wonderful cow or bull. And then he became something like rich and famous. There was some gains. Yeah. So you can think about it. So here, then the Buddha told the disciples that back in the days, he was the cow, and that disciple is actually the owner. Yeah. Just as in the past, he don't have faith, now he's something like that. So if you think about it, sounds a bit like complaint, right? Relating a not so good incident. But the Buddha, when he relate those incidences, he wasn't relating with the kind of frustration like, last time, how many lives, no? Every time you don't believe me. No, he wasn't relating in this way. Yeah. If we relate in a way that is factual, there's no negative karma. Yeah. But if we relate in a way that is not factual, then there's negative karma. But having said that, if we relate in a factual way, but continue to have those negative emotions, right? How about if we relate the past, if we recall the past, and you also start to feel in the same negative way, the same negative emotions. Yeah. What do y'all think? Would there be negative karma? There would be, isn't it? Yeah. If you recall an incident and then you get angry again, yeah, wouldn't that plant at least minimally a seed of anger? That would be, isn't it? That's why sometimes when I talk to students, I tell them you have to be careful when we share. I think people nowadays like to share a lot. People like to share. Yeah. They share about their life, they share about the Dharma. Even Dharma, they also want to share. Yeah. Hey, Sifu, don't you do that every day? No, ma, you all ask me question, then I reply. That's why I say, you don't ask me question, I have nothing to say. When people share, I tell them, you have to be careful who you share it with and how you share it. Yeah. The trouble is, when you share with others, right, it tends to be people that you trust, that people you are close with. And what is the traits and characteristics of people who are close to us? They tend to be our friends, and they tend to be biased also. Yeah, tend to be important key operative word, tend to be. Yeah, tend to. Doesn't mean that they will be, but they tend to. Why do they tend to be biased? Because they feel obliged to be biased. But what does it mean to be biased? It means that if you tell them a certain scenario, my boss did this, like that, my boss demand this, want this, blah, blah, blah. This happened, that colleague said this, I said that, the other colleague said this, then my boss come in, and then in the end, I'm wrong. Our friend, most friend, Now, at least some, I should say, I don't know how many friends are, how many friends you have. Maybe you only have one friend, and that one friend is neutral. Okay, I don't know. But most friends, I think, feel obliged to support you. This is what I mean by bias. And most people expect their friends to be biased. The closer you are, the more we expect our friends to be biased. This is unfortunately, yeah, a very realistic thing. Ask yourself, is it true? Yeah. Maybe it's not true. Yeah. Maybe some of you think that it's not true. No, I never expect my friends to be like that. Yeah. Maybe it's true. Yeah, maybe it's true that some of us never expect our friends to be like that. So, but maybe our friends feel obliged anyway. Yeah. And further, maybe you can check yourself. How do you know whether you're biased? Go and share with people, and if they disagree with you, see what happened. Yeah, you tell them your story and you tell them how nasty that person is. See whether your friend agree with you or not. Doesn't matter whether it's true or false, but if your friend disagree with you, and as a result you feel a bit of aversion, you feel a bit like, huh? Then there's a possibility you're expecting them to be biased. Yeah. But this is a bit tricky to find out also, because it may be that you truly feel that your opinion is correct. Yeah, and that person is not seeing the truth. But that's how we always feel, isn't it? Yeah. You think I'm biased? I'm not biased, no. Yeah, but that's the problem. So I share with students that when we share in this way and we share with friends, I say, unfortunately, our friends tend to be biased and then they will cite us. What will happen when you share something, your negative experience, you cannot bully at work lah, at home lah, with a boyfriend, girlfriend, your husband, your wife, your children, your employer, whoever. And then whoever you speak to, they support you. They support you. They agree with you. Then how? Shifu, it feels better, ma. I feel better. I get affirmed. What does it mean by having your feelings affirmed? In most cases, in such scenario, you feel you are right, they are wrong, and then what happened? You feel you are justified to be upset. It merely reinforces your negative feelings. Yeah, then the best case scenario is nothing changed. Isn't it? The best case scenario is how you feel towards that scenario is exactly the same. Best case, no. Worst case is you feel worse now. You see, I talked to my number 100 friend and they all agree that my boss is horrible. How horrible is my boss? Yeah. So best case is you feel the same. Yeah. As in you feel the same towards that incident. And then you have a bit of pleasure. What pleasure? The pleasure that someone agrees with you. But that pleasure don't last forever. Yeah. After that, no more. Then you will need to find another person to agree with. Because you cannot repeat to the same person and the person agree. After 3 times, the person, gong gui liao, gong gui liao. Yeah, you told me before already. So you need to find a new person. So I told some students, I said, you have to be careful. Don't fall into this loop. Yeah. Because then it becomes a habit. Anybody you find, you want to tell them your story to get them to agree with you, and then you feel good. And I've counseled different people at different stages. When they cross a certain barrier, they go into a vicious cycle where the only pleasure, maybe I should say that it's not the only pleasure, but a majority of their pleasant feelings comes from sharing. It becomes a vicious cycle because when they keep doing this, New friends who don't know, they will feel very, they'll feel very trusted because, wow, this friend, I just got to know this person, and this person trusts me to share with me that his difficulty, her difficulties. So the person will feel, wow, very special, you know. Then the person listen. But after a few times, wow, Biang had to call, see, blood, sucker, you know. This person, wow, suck my life force. Every time, wow, ask me to go out, then, wow, tell me all the sad story. Some more 重播. Yeah, the worst thing that people don't like is 重播, reruns. Yeah, where one time rerun, okay, two time rerun, wow, keep on rerunning, then people don't want to listen to you anymore. Then when people don't want to listen, the person now have second problem, lesser friends. And lesser friends even more 更重. Vicious cycle. Have to be careful. But not everybody go down this path. Not everybody go down this path. Because most people don't feel comfortable to share with random strangers. Yeah. But at the very least, if you share it in this way, not that all sharing is wrong, but if you share in this way, then you don't change your outlook of what happened. Then you continue to be negative, negative, negative. The whole point of learning Dharma is so that it doesn't mean that your whole life become positive. It just means that you have a new insight. Vipassana is insight, to see things as they are. Yeah, you get to see a new aspect of what happened that you have never seen before. If you can do that, then you have grown. Yeah, and that's why, you know, they say,世上难得有知己, or something like that. Yeah, that in this life, it's hard to find someone who is a confidant, someone who knows you. When we say someone who knows you, your 知己, doesn't mean that the person will be biased towards you, no. It just means that the person knows your flaws, your strength and weaknesses. And when you share with this such a friend, your grouses about life, your friend may give a listening ear first, but a good friend will point out your blind spot. If you can find someone who can tell you a blind spot, no matter how irritating it is, you must you must hold on to this friend. Hey, Sifu, you are advocating tanha attachment. Anyway, you are not enlightened. You are not going to be enlightened next week, so don't have to worry about this. Things have an order, okay? Yeah. Before you reach the toilet, you must hold on to your pants. You cannot say, I want to go to shit, so I just drop my pants at the moment I want to shit. You must find a toilet first. And even when you find a toilet, you cannot just let go of your pants. You must what? Go into the cubicle. You go in the cubicle, cannot let go of your pants. You must sit, you must close the door first. Then you lock. Then at that point, only at that point, then you let go of your pants. The good friend is like your pants. Ultimately, you must let go also, but you cannot let go at the start. Yeah. So anyway, we like to be attached to people. Myself be attached to people who is able to help us be better. And in turn, we should be a good friend to them also. The trouble, why? But you think about it, this makes a lot of sense. Then why would people act in a way that is not good? It is because of self-interest. We're afraid that if our friend tells us their grouses, their complaints, and we point out their blind spot, we say things that is somewhat disagreeable, then they may be upset with us. Our relationship may sour. The nice feeling I have from this friendship will be lost. Self-interest. It all boils down to self-interest, ego. Yeah. That's why it's not that people are stupid. Yeah. But it's just that we act out of self-interest. So if you find a friend who is genuine with us, who is able to point out our blind spot, then we should in turn be appreciative, yeah, and also be a good friend to them. This is not tit for tat. That time I complain to you, then you come and tell me stupid things. Next time you complain, you watch out, I tell you stupid things also. It's not like that. Yeah. So in this way, if we were to share, yeah, with someone, then it can be wholesome, it can be growth in our side. Yeah. Then it will not be negative karma. No, it doesn't mean that we should always keep mum. So not easy to be a good listener. Yeah, not easy to be a good listener. Let's all strive to be a good listener, to be a good friend. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障除烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
不愿罪障悉消除，
不愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛。
阿弥陀佛。
Till we meet again, may be guided and protected by the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. And as always,
乖乖，
乖 be a good friend. Okay, have a good friend Monday today.